Hello and welcome to Liberated Yoga Studio. My name is Anna. Today's class will be on yoga for weight loss and digestion. And it is a topic that often comes up in our group class discussions. What to do, especially about that stubborn fat that collects around the stomach area. There are several factors that are contributing to this, besides the usual consumption of too many calories. Stress actually is one of the major contributing factors. It interferes with better digestion, creates inflammation in the stomach and the intestines, and that leads to the body packing the area with fat and water to insulate itself from the inflammation in the gut. Plus, we often have too much sugar in our diet. So today's class will be focusing a lot on stress reduction with the breathing, movements that create circulation to our digestive organs, the stomach area, such as twists, back bends, and forward folds, and overall creating a mindful body awareness that you can take with you off the mat and maybe honestly reassess what you put in your body. Join us. First, grab your miracle balls or Franklin balls, or just use your hands if you don't have them on hand to massage your back. Let's start with the upper back, lying down on the back. You also might want to have a stretchy band with an easy reach for a little kinder action to the joints. So coming onto the back, grab your massage tool and position it under your upper back and supporting the head. Find a spot that feels tense, those knots in the upper back, and work on them a little bit while taking long exhalations. So long exhalation, you can use the Ujjayi breath for that. With the mouth closed, is a really good tool that yoga uses to switch gears for the nervous system, to switch it over to the parasympathetic mode, the so-called rest, digest, and self-repair mode. So it helps to heal inflammation, it helps to heal other injuries as well if you have something. And we want to be in that relaxed, mindful, mental state for our yoga practice for the whole duration of it. So after a little bit of massage, and again, if you don't have miracle balls, just use your hands. Reach for your neck and upper back. Often there's a lot of tension collected in our face. So you can use your hands to massage your scalp. Just send your fingers into the hair. There's a lot of nerve endings there. Behind the cranium here at the very base of the skull, there's two little bumps called occipital nodes right at the base of the neck. Massaging those really helps to release tension around the eyes. Often we have these frown lines in the forehead and these 11 vertical lines between the brows. So all of that tension in the face is often a result of poor posture, of the head being forward, and the jaw tension that also we sometimes struggle with is another element here as a byproduct of poor posture. And so all of that stress collecting there. Yeah? And then you can put your pelvis up on a little elevation. After you've massaged your neck and back, whatever it is that you could reach, put your pelvis up on the pillow or your miracle balls. Something not too tall, like a block would be too tall even. Just an inch or two up off the floor, so that all this area that we have just stimulated with touch and pressure has gravity pulling some circulation to it. Yeah? And we can put the arms nice and wide, shoulder levels, with the palms facing up to open up this chest area. And then continue turning the head slowly and comfortably side to side with the same long exhalation. And keeping the eyes closed again, so we keep relaxing the face. After a few movements side to side with the head, do some easy circles. And then massage your face a little bit as well, like the temples. Some circular movements in each direction around the temples. Massage the brow line. Start right at the bridge of the nose and then trace with your middle finger up along the brow and out to the temple and finish with a little circle in the temple. That's a nice way to release some tension collected around the eyes. Long exhalations. And then take those middle fingers and put them again, sort of like where your tear ducts are, and run down the other edge of your eye socket a few times, draining some lymph. Sometimes we get puffy eyes from poor circulation. Yeah, and then down under the cheekbones. There's some muscles here right under the cheekbone that sometimes can even be painful. So draw like a semicircle from the tear duct area, scooping under the cheekbone. Yeah, and then the jaw hinge massage. And if you open and close your mouth, you'll feel the jaw hinge working right in front of your ear. And again, that could be a tender area if you grind your teeth. So massage that a little bit. And then finish with a big exhale with the mouth open as wide as possible, a few times. And keep the mouth open for a little while. Do that 3-4 times. Big exhale, like a big yawn. Pretend you're yawning to stretch the jaw muscles. And if you feel like yawning, by all means, yawn as well. Very good. And then we can move on. Just kind of sweep your face a little bit, maybe. Just generally sweeping that. And put your hands and arms down the sides of your body. On the inhale, we'll reach up overhead, and you can lengthen the spine and arch the low back a little bit. And on the exhale, bring the arms back down to your sides, softly rounding the spine towards the floor. Let's do a few of these coordinating breath and movement together. Inhale, reach up and lengthen. Exhale, reach down and release. Keep long exhale, but maybe now you can deepen the inhale.
Adding a soft lateral when your arms are up overhead, linger there, maybe for a breath as you scooch the shoulders to the right and to the left, bowing out the ribs, inviting a deeper inhale into the side. And then if you had your pelvis up on whatever elevation, you can take that from underneath you and grab the knees in. Let's massage the low back, sacrum, work on our hip joints a little bit, holding the knees in. Use your arms to assist the legs around a few times in each direction. Notice how your breath is changing as you are moving on to a new area in your body. Not just now, but generally throughout the practice. The breath will illuminate for you the areas where you hold tension, sometimes even without realizing that it's there. When you interact with an area of the body that holds tension, your breath will become shallow. You may be holding your breath after the inhale. So if you notice these changes in your breath as you do your yoga practice, and we're moving on to new movements or new shapes, and pay attention to that as an indicator that you're working with something that could be a seed of stress and tension in your body. Yeah, and then some easy apanasana, still holding on to the knees. We'll inhale, legs away into tabletop, pointing the toes. And exhale, draw the knees in, flex and pulse. Continue at your pace. Make it relaxed and relaxing. Tending to breath and movement coordination. So hugging our knees in so that we can feel that little pressure on the lower belly is very good at improving some blood flow and peristalsis of the gut. Last one, and then we'll straighten the legs on the floor. And on the inhale, reach overhead for a nice elongating full body stretch. And on the exhale, grab one leg in, leave the other down on the floor. And for a breath or so, circle the leg you're holding around. Circle the ankle. And when you feel you're ready to switch, inhale into full body stretch. And exhale, grab the other leg in. And let's continue in this way. Feeling our body, creating sensations with easy movement, watching for unnecessary tension, coming back to the neck and shoulders and the face. Good. Now we'll do a little bit more work on our legs to engage with their muscles. Let's have our left leg bent on the floor and grab behind the thigh of the right. As we inhale, we can straighten the leg up, flex the foot in, spread the toes, and on the exhale again, hug and pulse. This little pressure on the right side of the belly helps to stimulate the ascending column that goes up on the right side. So let's do that a few times on the right leg. Inhale, straighten, move the ankle maybe. Exhale, and as you pulse, think about that little bit of stimulation on the right side of the belly. Let's move on to the other side. So this is our descending column here on the left. So grab your left leg in. Inhale, straighten and flex. And you can always just massage the leg if it feels a little stiff. Exhale, bend in and pulse. A couple of more on this side to round it out. And you're looking for a little bit of a pause at the end of the exhalation as a sign that your nervous system is making that switch towards a more parasympathetic state. Let's polish off with both legs in and do a tense release technique that's great at dumping a lot of stress out of the body at once. On the inhale, extend both legs to the ceiling, flex, arms overhead, make fists and tense, and then exhale through the mouth. And a big release, grab the knees in and pulse them both. And repeat a few times. Inhale, reach out, tense, exhale, dump. Grab, hold, pulse. The more contrast you can generate, the better. And one more. Write out any pause at the end of the exhale. And then when we're doing our twists, it's very important to keep the exhale long and wait out any pause at the end of the exhale. Let's have our legs wide on the floor, knees bent, arms out. And then on the exhale, as we twist the knees in one direction, the head on the other, we're reaching out into the shape. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. With that long exhalation, linger in the shape. And we'll take this a little bit further next. So let's have our legs back together and let's have our left leg straight, right leg bent, foot on the floor, arms wide. On the inhale, take the right leg out. On the exhale, cross it over, using the foot on the floor as a little bit of leverage to push into it and lengthen and elongate as you twist the lower body to the left and the head rolling to the right a little. Inhale, center and open. Head to the left. Exhale, twist with leverage. Head to the right. So the head continues the twist all along the length of the spine. don't push and force with the foot too harsh. Make it comfortable, make it easy in your body, but do arrive to the point where you feel your body a little bit resisting, just up to the threshold of that. And that will gradually, this range of comfortable up to the threshold movement will increase with each breath a little bit, a little bit. Maybe one or two more on this side. And then come back to center and do a full body stretch to level off. Sometimes the side of the body feels longer, the right side of the body feels longer. So take the arms overhead, lengthen and kind of reset a little bit, and then we'll switch sides. So the left leg will be bent. As you inhale, open the knee to the left, head to the right. As you exhale and twist, push into the floor with the left foot a little to lengthen into this twist. Continue at your pace. Nice long exhalation. Maybe with still a little pause after. One more. And for a little reset, again, full body stretch on your back. Reaching, reaching, reaching. A little lateral side to side maybe. And then on the exhale, slide the feet in, grab the knees in. Pulse them both. Maybe a stretch for the spine, coming into a C-curl off the floor. Round the spine as you hold on to the legs and just get that area between the shoulder blades stretched out. Yeah. If you don't have a band, you don't need it, but if you do, grab it for leg lifts. It'll just help to snuggle the hip joint a little bit better into its socket, allow the greater range of movement to be more comfortable. You can have the foot up in the band, engaging the foot with the band around the ball of it. And then inhale as you lower the leg. The other leg is bent on the floor. Exhale, engage your belly and bring the leg up until you feel a little stretch in the back of the leg, yeah? Like that a few times. Inhale down, exhale up. Engaging the core on the exhale. Good, and then just switch legs and do on the other side. And if you're using the band, it's easy to step the other foot in. Inhale down, exhale, engage your core to lift. So stretching, like we're doing now in a way, for 15 minutes increases serotonin levels in the blood, lowers blood pressure, and reduces inflammation in the body, including in the gut. So it is an important self-care method to reduce stress and tension in the body. One or two more on this side. And then you can take the band off if you're using. And we'll do butterfly. If you don't have a band, use your hands. Just reach where you can touch your thighs, and as you exhale, open, inhale, close, resisting a little bit, just a little bit without tension in the shoulders. If you have a band, tie your legs together over the knees, crossing behind the knees, and that will give you a little resistance too. Not a whole lot. We just want to feel something more than just plain open and close. And then maintaining neutral, so we have a little lumbar arch. We exhale, open with a zip. Inhale, close. And hold the legs out a little bit as you open them for a couple of seconds. As you maybe have that pause at the end of the exhalation. To level up a little bit, the difficulty, you can bring the legs up into tabletop. And especially if you don't have a band, that's a good way to add a little bit more work to this. But with the band, it's also very, very good. Still maintaining neutral, so the legs are way out there in table. And then simple bicycle, but if you have the band, you can do more like a Stairmaster. Stretching the band between your thighs. Yeah, or a simple bicycle. Just make sure you actually move your thighs. Yes, move your thighs. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. And that's enough of that. For now, you can take your band off if you're using it and rest well in the open butterfly. We'll work this from the other end. Should be familiar to those of you who are regular in my classes. The low rise zip is next. So as you exhale, you close. You maintain neutral as you engage the feet and pull in the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Inhale, open, and relax. And again, you learn to do this without unnecessary tension in the shoulders or face. Practice your selective engagement, selective relaxation skill, cultivating the body awareness that you need to have to be able to tell what you're using, when, and why, and how much. And then we'll do the high rise zip with the imprinting of the low back. So as you exhale, close. Do the low rise first, but then continue exhaling as you round the spine softly towards the floor. Scoop the belly in, pull the navel in. Inhale, neutral as you open. Exhale, close. Low rise first, high rise second on the same exhale. Maybe one or two more to really get a good understanding of how these two zips can be activated, especially the selective engagement, selective relaxation part of that. And then rest well in the open butterfly. Allow the deeper inhale to soften your belly, release the pelvic floor, stretch out the inner thighs. Now we'll come onto our side, work a little bit more on our joints and follow up with another twist. So if you roll over onto a side, bring your legs up at 90 degrees. You can use that low rise zip to anchor your pelvis stable on the side. And then your top arm will circle around. Start with it out in front. And inhale, reach up, overhead. And as you twist the rib cage, continue reaching behind you and down and past the hip back to start on the exhale. So halfway around on the inhale with a twist, halfway around on the exhale, untwist. Supporting the head the whole time. First, make the movement well within comfortable range for you, for that shoulder. And keeping our low rise engaged so that the knees don't come apart, the pelvis stays stacked on the sides. You're really anchoring down the lower area of the spine, the low back. And then let's imagine our arm is the minute hand on the face of the clock, and we'll reach a little further. Forward for 3 o'clock, up by the ear for 12 o'clock, bowing the ribs side and up. Shoulder level behind us for 9 o'clock. And then folding the hand with the palm facing out on the small of the back, down along the tailbone for 6 o'clock. And you can turn the face towards the floor a little bit. Let's do that 3 full rounds. So that was 1. Do another one. Reaching for those 15-minute marks. A little bit more space here, a little bit more space there. And then we'll let the shoulder rest and process that. Having our hand on the floor in front of the chest. Come back to the legs. Extending the top one, circle around generously, but with the low rise zip, maintain stability of the pelvis. Engage the foot, spread out the toes. And don't rush. Nice and slow and steady circle. Long exhalations. Let's reverse the direction of our circle. And then a little twist. On the inhale, reaching the leg down, on the arm up over the ear, lengthen the side. On the exhale, bringing the knee in and the bent elbow back and down, twist, supporting the head. Long exhale to twist. Yeah. Inhale, side stretch. Exhale, twist. And just keep massaging your neck with the hand that's supporting the head. You can introduce a little tense release element here too. On the inhale, it could be a very active reach, almost a tense. And on the exhale, you can melt into the twist, soften into the shape. One more. And we'll roll over onto our back and do a little reset. Before second side. So on our back, hugging the knees in, pulse, pulse. So again, this creates that little bit of pressure on the lower belly after the twist. So good. And then the C curl off the floor, holding onto the legs. To stretch that spot between the shoulder blades that often collects tension. We've been working on that spot with our arm circles. Yeah. Other side. Roll over. And bring your knees up at 90 degrees. Lock and load your low rise for stability. And then let your shoulder first make a very comfortable range. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back, down and around. Supporting the head. Rolling the ribs up, disassociating the rib cage to twist with the arm movement, but keeping the knees together and on the floor. And then let's imagine the face of the clock and reach forward for 3. Up over the ear, bowing the rib side for 12. And then behind for 9. And then down along the tailbone for 6. 2 more times. Finding angles that feel good, that open up new spaces in the body. Once you finish, move on to the leg circles. Here again, low rise zip for stability. Slow and steady, generous circle of the leg with the foot active. The other direction. We always go in the same direction first, I notice. It's like we have these patterns. Yeah, and then side stretch on the inhale. Lengthen, almost tense, and then twist with the knee in and the elbow back and down on the exhale, and melt and pour yourself into the shape. One more maybe. And then on the back yet one more time for a little reset. Apanasana pulse, putting that pressure on the lower belly. And then the C curl, spinal stretch. Get into those shoulder blades. And then a moment on the back before we move on in constructive rest pose. Just a nice deep breath. Taking stock of what your body's experiencing after all these movements. Come into child's pose. Sit as far back towards your heels as the knees comfortably allow, and reach as far forward with both arms as they go to lengthen that spine, but still we're in flexion here, and our knees are together. So there's 2 child's pose variations with the knees wide apart and then the knees together. And we have the knees together to put our belly on top and put pressure on the ribs in front, and use our breath to open up the ribs in the back body. So take a moment to get settled into the shape and engage your lower back ribs with the inhale. Make some room, make some space. So this is where actually the stress often collects from poor breathing. When we're stressed, we breathe shallow, upper chest, creating all this tension. There's just not enough movement lower down in the diaphragm, especially in the lower back ribs. So breathing can help restore that. When you're ready to move, inhale into table with a back bend and the low rise zip for support and the back body breath. And then exhaling back into child's pose. Let's continue. Inhale, table, back bend, low rise. Exhale, child's. Inflating the low back ribs with the breath. on the inhale. And some cats and cows. Next time we're on all fours, arching on the inhale and rounding on the exhale. Use your high rise zip to round and scoop in the belly. Make it fluid, spinal movement back and forth. Very good. And then my favorite stomach churn for a circulation, the jump rope. Inhaling, center sway back. Exhaling, a lateral. A flexion. Other side lateral. Inhale, center sway back. Reversing the direction. And you can do a couple on one exhale. Barrel rolling through. And what these spinal movements help is open up that back body breath. So come into child's pose, do some wrist rolls while you reconnect to that back body breath there. And we'll do another favorite digestion, improving, stress releasing twist on all fours. So this one where we come into neutral in table and starting on the, again, left side, take the left elbow side and up on the inhale as you look up. And then reach through underneath the right armpit, dropping that shoulder down on the exhale. Inhale, twist this way. Exhale, twist that way. Twisting in the upper body, and the kneeling position keeps our pelvis square and our SI and low back safe. So first we do dynamic version of this twist to get some circulation going to this midsection we're twisting in. And then for a stay, as you come into the shape, first park the elbow down on the floor, then take your supporting hand out a little bit further. So it can be used as a kickstand for you to lower down more if you want, bringing the shoulder and head to the floor. And then this kickstand of the arm, the right arm with the elbow up, can be used to deepen the twist if you feel there's some space there to move into. Now here again we want to breathe into the lower back ribs. Nice and deep, long exhale. Deep inhale. And then use that right arm to press up to pull out the left. A moment of reflection in child's pose, coming into that shape, back body breath. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Back on all fours in neutral, right elbow side and up as you inhale, look up. And then through on the exhale, keeping the supporting elbows straight. This is the dynamic version. And it's important to reach the elbow rather than the hand. Sometimes when we reach the hand, this kind of thing happens. You don't really reach enough with the shoulder because you think you're reaching with the hand. So you really want to reach with the shoulder, and the elbow helps to get there. And then for a stay, first bring the elbow down, And slide your left hand out a little for support and come down to the floor a little further if you want. Relax the hand. Use the left hand kickstand to deepen the twist if you feel it's going to work without stressing out the spine too much. And breathe. Breathe here. Move into every inch of space in this shape with your breath and awareness. And then come on up. Back into child's pose. Again, breathing. Now, one of the things, again, that disrupts digestion is poor posture. When you're hunched over, your ribs are collapsed in, putting pressure on the diaphragm, on the abdominal organs, restricting deeper breathing. That really has a negative impact on digestion. So back bend's actually a very important part of the recipe for better digestive health. So let's come onto the belly and set up on the elbows, propping ourselves up in Sphinx pose here. And do some preliminaries with a bit of shoulder shrugs to feel our shoulder blades. Looking over each shoulder a time or two, feel the neck and how it fits into the whole scenario. Now we'll start mild and see how we feel with the hands out on the fingertips. Why? To broaden this across the chest and the low rise zip and the back body inhale, come up. Minimum use of hands. And then exhale down, cheek to side, all the way to the floor. Zip, inhale up. Exhale, release, and cheek other side. Nice long exhale. Breathing on the inhale into those lower back ribs. Shoulder blades down to engage the muscles of the upper back. Chin slightly tucked. Watch out for these shoulders creeping up and the chin coming forward, creating tension and compression in the neck, right? Shoulders down, chin down. Maybe one or two more. A little rest with the knees bent, swinging the shins side to side. And again, when we sit so much, our low back is always rounded. These low back muscles are locked long. So back bends that strengthen the low back are important. We'll do some leg lifts here. You can exhale as you lift a leg up, inhale down, or inhale as you lift a leg. Exhale down side to side. Pick the half of the breath that helps you feel supported the most. Whether that the low rise zip on the exhale or the back body breath on the inhale. And the head could be hovering an inch or two over your hands looking down, or it could be resting all the way down if that helps to make your low back feel more comfortable with what you're doing. A little rest, windshield wiping. And we'll do another twist here, the Crocodile Twist. This is a nice position to take advantage of, and it will build on what we've already done in all fours. Very similar feeling twist. So let's have our hands out on fingertips and come up on the inhale a little bit to make room here. And then slide our left arm through all the way to the shoulder. Roll over onto the left side, bring the right knee up. And then reach the right arm back. Doesn't have to be to the floor, but the right knee needs to stay down to anchor the pelvis. And you open up. And then you inhale as you come up onto the belly, push up, pull out, exhale, reach through, knee up, twist. Inhale out. Let's do 3 rounds. And as you exhale and twist, lengthen the exhale. Zip that low rise. Find the freedom in the shape just by melting into it. So once you offer the body support from the core, you can really relax other things and find ease in the shape. After 3 full rounds, come onto your belly, find your back body breath, and we'll do one more thing before we move on. Which will be Swan Dive, Skydive, to strengthen the back a little bit more and to bring some symmetry to it after the twists. So reaching forward with both arms, you can slide the limbs on the floor or hover them. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale as you spread the legs. Bring the elbows back and down, lifting the chest and looking down. Inhale like you swan dive. Exhale like you skydive. So first dynamic version of this a few times. And then hold the skydiver shape, working those back muscles for a couple of breaths, maybe 3, maybe 4. Steady breathing. And then help yourself up, table, back into child's, and child to table a few times at your pace. Inhaling table, exhaling child, to settle the back after all of the things that we've done on the belly up until now. And then a rest in child's pose, back body breaths. Us for down dog will be next, where we want to feel that suction effect of the belly, that displacement of the gut on top of the diaphragm, where we'll meet those guts with some nice deep breaths. So first, coming into table, find neutral. Lock and load the low rise zip and the shoulder blades down the back. And as you exhale and shift back and up, keep the knees bent. And stick the tail up, relaxing the head, find length in the spine. And if you find your neutral here, that scoop in the belly will happen as you exhale. Keep that scoop as you inhale. And work your down dog with the breath. Pumping your butt away. A couple of breaths here. And then exit slowly back in table. And child's pose, wrist rolls, back body breaths. We'll do that a couple of more times. Each time seeking deeper and deeper, scoop in the belly. Doing it on the elbows. So what you're looking for is that scoop like that. Or you can put your hands up on the bed or the, yeah, like that. And work here, that scooping of the belly in. Yeah, yeah. Let's do 2 more times. Really working on finding the back body breath and the scoop in our down dogs. So avoid hyperextending and locking the knees. That will round your spine but not really give you that length. So you want to keep the knees bent if necessary. Take the tailbone up. Almost squat back so the head can relax and the spine can be straight. A couple of breaths before you exit and rest. And for shoulder blade alignment in down dog, really working those shoulder blades, anchoring them to the back ribs, where the shoulders are not too high up, nor are they too far down. You want that nice medium placement of the shoulder blades. Last one. Attend to that little detail of shoulder blades in your down dog. And rest again in child's pose. Back body breaths, jaw relaxed, face relaxed. Little inversion helps to just drive circulation to the face. And next we'll come on to our, next we're going to come and sit with our legs in front and work on a forward fold and a seated twist. This is the more challenging part for our sacroiliac joint, so we'll take some precautions. Yeah, so sit with your legs out in front. Knees bent. The knees bend so that when you fold forward, you don't have the space between the ribs, between the belly and the thighs. You want to close this gap. You want to pack your ribs and belly tight over the legs. This will provide that stimulation to the digestive organs. So pack on tight over your thighs. Bend the knees in as much as necessary. Then it's easy to reach over to the feet. Placing our hands over the toes. Then you can use your feet to pedal into the hands and pull your arms forward and yourself a little deeper into the shape and experience a nice stretch for the upper back and the low back, whichever area of your spine needs it. You'll feel it, but you control how much with this foot pedaling action into your hands. Good. Now let's sit up nice and tall. Really lengthen the spine. Keep the knees bent. Sometimes if we straighten the leg, our spine needs to round because our hamstrings are a little tight. So bend the knees enough for the spine to be very, very straight. Right? First we'll do a dynamic twist here, as has been our pattern here in class today. Focusing on disassociating of the rib cage while keeping the knees together and the pelvis stable. So let's have our arms wide out. This will help to keep the chest from collapsing. Yeah, squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. And then exhale, twist, look over shoulder, inhale, center. Exhale, twist, look over other shoulder, inhale, center. So it's a mild twist, not a whole lot. You're not using your hands to crank yourself into it. It's a good skill to develop. And it's the most challenging of all the twists because you actually have to support your spine up straight. So here we are getting those muscles to get a grip on this reality here without pedaling and shifting in the legs. So really avoid pedaling the legs. Lock and load your low rise so it's really stable. Yeah? Good. Nice. Next time you twist to your right. Right? This is our ascending column. Twist to your right and then let your hands drop. Left one across, the right one behind. And you really want to make sure you're not leaning onto the back hand and rounding the spine. You want to just place the hands but not use them for leverage or for staying in the shape. Anytime you can let go and your shape is still the same. And then you breathe. You use the breath in this shape to make some movement in the lower rib cage. Yeah? Soft ujjayi. Yeah, opening into this twist. Yes, yes, yes. Looking as far back as comfortable over that shoulder. Not straining the neck. Good. And then for a little rest, we'll come forward again into forward fold. Making nice tight contact over the thighs. And now we'll do the same to the other side. So sitting really tall. Again, let's do a dynamic set with our elbows out wide and bent and chest lifted. Exhale, twist, inhale, center. Exhale, twist, inhale, center. And train your awareness to keep this disassociation idea, where your pelvis is really stable, your knees are not pedaling, your legs are not sliding, your sitting bones on the floor are not shimmying around. Yeah? And then next time you twist to your left, twist as far as you can on your own steam and then let the arms drop. Right one across, left one behind, just to be someplace as a reference, as a more of a mental anchor than a physical one to lean on. Look back a bit, breathe deeply. Stay upright in the spine. Chest up, shoulder blades down. A little pause after the exhale. Not cranky. Yeah, don't lean on the hands. Back to center, inhale. Nice forward fold with tight contact of ribs on thighs on the exhale. Back body breaths here. Let's come into our back next and do some compensations such as a hovering butterfly, lots of apanasanas, and of course a little mild bridge. So as you roll onto your back, grab your knees into chest first and do some easy apanasana pulse to settle the low back. And then we'll do the hovering butterfly to reset and anchor the SI joint, which can be vulnerable in seated twists. If you let your pelvis drift into the twist in any way, that is compromising to the sacroiliac joint. So let's have our feet on the floor, knees bent together. Find neutral and hover the pelvis about an inch or two, no more. And very slowly we'll open and close for about a minute or more if you need it. If you need more centering and stabilizing in the SI, do 2 minutes. Very, very slowly opening the butterfly. Count to 30 to open, 30 to close. So real slow. And don't let your pelvis sink back down to the floor. We're staying, hovering the whole time. Steady, relaxed breathing. Yeah, let's do 2 minutes today because we've done a lot of twists. So 2 butterflies to make sure our sacroiliac joint does not complain about this later. Especially towards the end, make sure you complete nice and slow and don't rush the very final few seconds of closing your second butterfly. And then rest again, Apanasana, hug and pulse. Mild inversions are very good again to displace those guts on top of the diaphragm and breathe in for them. So that's part of what's going on in a bridge pose, in addition to many other benefits that pose provides. So let's have our feet on the floor and a little bit apart. Arms can go out wide to encourage that openness across the chest. Yeah, start in neutral. And then on the exhale, do your low rise zip and then the high rise zip as you scoop and print and roll up vertebra by vertebra, engaging your core. Find neutral here on the inhale. So this is where your guts are kind of falling on top of the diaphragm and you're breathing nicely forward towards them. And then as you roll down on the exhale, imprint fluidly through. Back, inhale, neutral. Exhale, scoop and print, roll up. Inhale for your guts. Exhale, scoop, imprint, and roll down. Let's work on real fluid, vertebra by vertebra bridge pose here. Soft ujjayi. Just slow down the exhale. And you can stay in bridge for 2 or 3 breaths if you like. Just make sure your neck is not compromised, that your weight is on the tops of the shoulder blades, your neck curve is neutral, head has no pressure, and you lengthen through the front of the body. You take a couple of breaths, moving the diaphragm in this direction, down to the guts, but up towards the ceiling. You can let them dance together a little bit as you breathe. Then you roll down vertebra by vertebra. Now let's hug our knees in and do one last round of Apanasana to settle the spine. Again, create that little bit of massage to the lower belly with pulsing the legs in and out. So hold on to the knees as you inhale, knees away. This will help take a deeper inhale. And then as you exhale, keep the knees together. Put that pressure on the lower belly as you pulse, 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 relax. Let's do this for a minute or two. Lengthening the exhale to comfortable maximum. A pause at the end of the exhalation is a very good sign that your nervous system is responding well, relaxing. And then really that's the whole point of Shavasana at the end of a yoga class, is to deeply de-stress and relax. Today let's do a little tense release technique through the body and then settle into whichever position you prefer. So kind of straighten your legs on the floor and the arms along sides of the body. Then pick up your left leg and tense as you push and then dump. Ouch. Other side, not too high. Right, and then dump. Ah, yes. Then the left arm, lift and spread the fingers and then make fist and then dump that. Same on the right side. And then overhead, a full body stretch, tense. And then dump that. And then you can come into any position you like to relax in. You can move over to the nearest wall and put your feet up on it. And this is very nice, soothing, relaxing position to be in for a few minutes. You can have full Shavasana, or legs up the wall, or legs out, stretched out, whatever you feel like a good position to rest in and breathe. Continue with the long exhale and pause at the end of the exhalation.
Stay in your chosen position for a few minutes to get the full benefit of this class. And I thank you for joining us. Namaste.